Um, Hello sir. Discuss ko po today ay ang resource use in the environment. Use Water use in traditional assessments of water unavailable for human use, renewable available fresh water is considered to be non-flood stage stream flow and reservoir storage. Estimated use does not include rainwater that falls on the earth only to be transferred by crop plants and groundwater from wells. This procedure is followed here because rainwater used by crops would have been evaporated or transpired had not crops been involved, and because removal of groundwater by wells lowers the water table and lessens the amount of groundwater, contributing to non-flood stage of flow of streams. Consumptive water used by humans has traditionally been calculated as surface water plus groundwater from wells that evaporate as a result of its use. There is, however, a recent tendency to divide water use into three categories. Rainwater is rainwater that evaporates during use. This water is used almost entirely for agriculture, and it would have evaporated anyway. Moreover, green water is not included in the estimates of renewable available fresh water. Blue water is surface water or groundwater that evaporates during use. Blue water use is basically the same as traditional consumptive water used. It can be calculated with reasonable accuracy. Number 3, gray water is the amount of water needed to treat the waste resulting from water use. In terms of water use, ito yung isa sa mga problema ng groundwater for wells, groundwater, blue water, and gray water. Konti lang ang water sources natin kaya kailangan i-manage. There is no objective way to estimate gray water. Therefore, we do not support adoption of total water use summation of green, blue, and gray water as means of assessing water use for agriculture and aquaculture. Estimates for major assumptive uses of water show that agriculture is the major consumer, accounting for more than 80% of total global water used. Consumptive water used by agriculture amounts to roughly 30% of available renewable freshwater. Nevertheless, water supply is not distributed in accordance with population density, and arid regions with high population densities often have natural scarcity of fresh waters. Even the same areas where water is normally plentiful, water shortage may develop during periods of drought. Some countries do not have adequate water distribution infrastructure or suffer from political unrest or armed conflicts that interfere with water distribution. Water population may also make water unsuitable from some issues. Consumptive water use in freshwater aquaculture ponds average about 12,700 and meters, using an average global yield from pond aquaculture of 2,496 kg. Water use would be 588 meter, and direct water is used freshwater pond aquaculture would be 111 km. Here, freshwater is usually not added to ponds. Applied water with brackish of ocean water, cage culture, and raceways have little direct consumptive water use, possible by around 0.25 kilometers, that is mainly contained in harvested biomass. Consumptive water used to making feed ingredients for aquaculture feeds. Aquaculture feed was used in 2014. The water used for feed is 1 kilometers per year, and the primary water consuming activity in cage and raceway aquaculture. Consumptive water used by aquaculture is likely total about 122 km per year, or only 3.7% as much as used in agriculture. If green water is included in the calculation, water used by aquaculture would increase about 429 km per year. There are several ways of reducing the direct use of freshwater in the pond. Aquaculture to include production, intensification, water reuse, construction of techniques that to minimize seepage loss in water level, control to capture, and as much rainfall as possible, increasing production from 3,000 kg to 6,000 kg in a pond with an annual water use of 12,000 meters would lessen water use from 4,000 meters. Of course, assuming no change in feed conversion to ratio. The water embodied in feed will not increase per ton of production. So, water use can be accomplished in a ponds if they are not drained for harvest, or if water for to increase water to production, water use can be accomplished in ponds if they are not drained for harvest. If the water is drained from ponds and stored for reuse, for example, many channel in catfish ponds in the USA are operated for 10 years or longer. And or without draining, harvest size fish are removed with large mesh seine and replaced with the fingerlings. So the cycle of partial harvest and restocking may continue indefinite, although ponds are drained periodically. To renovate eroded leaves in the SAM system, fish may be cultured intensively in one section and water is regulated to another section of purification before returning to the culture section. And this procedure does not usually conserve water because the combined area from the production and waste treatment equals that an unpartitioned pond with the same amount of production. Seepage loss can be as much as 50 cm or more in the ponds, but seep rates usually can be reduced to 10 to 20 cm less by proper seating and construction practices. Rainfall can be captured by maintaining water to levels in the ponds to 10 to 15 cm below overflow levels. So, captured rainfall partially offsets that fisher need for pump water from other sources. Water exchange is a particularly bad practice that seldom improves water quality in large aquaculture ponds, but it increases water use, the potential of aquaculture facilities. Mechanical aeration is a more effective than water exchange to maintaining adequate dew concentration in ponds. So, mechanical aerators, especially those that splash water in the air, may increase water loss by exposing more water surface area to air, but it does not increase water use as much as does water exchange. Verification, kung kayang i-verify, figure farming with a surface water circulation. The reservoir consists of 2 wide canals and the 2 large ponds. In the upper right hand corner of the picture, source produced with permission from. Yung mga lalaki, it will be supply, yung maliliit na pints, yung pints yan. Energy use, the word use, tramid use, about amount of energy for industry, agriculture, transportation, domestic and municipal activities, and other purposes. The total global consumption of primary fuels are about 551 by 10,018 joules or 541 exajoules. Only about 60% of this energy is use energy. The remainder is consumed in transforming the energy in the primary fuels to energy used for specific purposes. In 2008, end of consumption of energy for all purposes was estimated to be 294, of which was used in the world food system. Most of this energy was used for processing, distributing, retailing, preparation, the cooking. The share of production of the food of the farm gate in case of capture was only 21.4% of total energy used in the fund system. On report of FAO report using data from 2008, estimated energy used to capture fisheries to be, which is rather large considering the energy used for all terrestrial animal production accounted for only 5.1. In the same report, aquaculture was estimated to use only 0.4. more less than in capture fisheries. However, few studies of energy use in aquaculture have been made and FAO estimate appears too low. Several life cycle analysis of aquaculture production is of tilapia, channel catfish, salmon, shrimp, and mussels given a total of energy of 26. Aquaculture production in 2008 giving overall use, and however almost data is available for production of species raised with lower energy inputs. So there is a considerable containing regarding overall energy use. About the best that can be said that energy is used aquaculture probably somewhere between 0.4 and 1.4 in 2018. The energy several direct uses of energy is aquaculture, which include facility construction, pumping water, aeration, and farm operations. Considerable energy is also used in producing feedstuffs, so manufacturing feed and delivering it to farms, such as the indirect energy use is often called embodied energy. That the embodied energy content of aquaculture feed ranges from around 4. Aeration is also major energy input. The aquaculture, for example, an aeration rate of 1.1 kilowatt of production and 1,000 hour of aeration during consumption of electricity would be 5.4. Our production facility and construction can be amortized over several years and will be seldom by greater than 2.0 production energy to pump water, filling ponds, and replace the evaporation and seepage loss usually will not exceed. Energy conservation is important because most energy is used aquaculture from non-renewable sources. The combustion of fossil fuels is also the major source of greenhouse and gases that contribute to global climate change. Next is the feed fish use. So, fish is other aquatic organisms are capable for converting protein in their feed to edible animal protein with good efficiency. So mataas ang feed conversion efficiency natin compared with other livestock and poultry, mas mataas pa rin ang ating feed conversion ratio. So the percentage of feed protein recovered in harvest biomass in the processed fillets for 5 common species average for 30.9% and 19.4% respectively. Depende na lang kung siya ay carnivorous, omnivorous, herbivorous, or as much as possible kung kaya nating mag-alaga ng mga as close to the primary producer the better. Kung sila ay herbivores or omnivores, the better. Kasi kapag nag-carnivores ka, magiging mas marami ang problema mo kasi kailangan mo ng mataas na protein content. Compared to terrestrial meat animals, aquatic species generally need somewhat higher crude protein concentrations in their feed. But they tend to have better feed conversion efficiency than terrestrial animals. Aquaculture species vary greatly with respect to feed protein conversion, and some species are superior while others are inferior to broiler chickens in that regard. However, aquaculture species usually convert protein more efficiently than do swine or beef cattle. Production is aquaculture animals appears to be least inefficient as traditional meat animals in converting feed ingredients and feed protein, in particular to meat and animal protein for human consumption. Of course, that the production of aquaculture species is much less than that of traditional meat animals. Revealed that totally global production of animal feed in 2014 was 980 million. Animal feed consumption species category was follows: poultry 439 million, swine 256, cattle and other ruminants 196 million, aquaculture 41 million, pets 22 million, achenes and 11 million. The major difference in aquaculture feeds and other animal feeds is the large amount of fish meal and fish oil included feed for some aquaculture species, especially in feeds for marine shrimp and carnivorous fish such as trout, salmon. Fish meal is included in aquaculture feed because it is a high protein content with balanced amount of amino acid. It is also contains phosphorus, calcium, and essential omega-3 fatty acids. Fish oil has a highly ratio of N3 to N6 fatty acid, and this high ratio is considered to be beneficial to human cardiac health. Vegetable oils have a lower ratio of N3 to N6 fatty acid, and it's widely believed that inclusion of fish oil in aquaculture diets enhances the N3 and N6 fatty acid ratio in edible meat of aquaculture species. So, fish meal production from the captures of pelagic fish, menhaden, anchovies, herring, sardines, and others. Still kailangan, so, ang culminate niyan ay muna ipapakain. Ipapakain mo para sa culture na kakainin mo rin. Ibig sabihin, kung kaya mo nang ipapakain mo ay by ducks, by ducks, para hindi, kasi ang mga anchovy ay hindi kainin ng tao, parang hindi yung issue ng fish feed use. Collective cold bay fish is not expected to increase in future products, fish meal, and annual production from pelagic. Thus, the yield of your making fish meal is requires about 4.5 kg live fish to make 1 kg fish meal. Thus, the current production fish meal requires a feed fish input of 20 to 23 million tons annually, and additional 1.5 million year fish meal is made from fish processing scraps. So, another source of fish meal and fish oil. Madaling gamitin ng tao, mas mataas pa yung ratio ng omega-3 at omega-6 sa fatty acid. So, kailangan pa rin natin kapag nagpakain ka sa aquaculture species, ang mas maganda na ang fish oil ay galing pa rin sa isda because of the omega-3 at omega-3 fatty acid. Kaya tayo kumakain ng mga isda sa dagat dahil mayaman sila sa fish oil, omega-3 at omega-6 fatty acid. For aquaculture feeds is trash fish for bycatch consisting of aquatic organism captured in troll net that do not have market value direct human consumption. One point of concern is that it appears to be ecologically inefficient when a fish are fed diets with high levels of fish meal and oil. On the face of it, this is true, but this is not superficial conclusion neglects other consideration. Feed fish is highly valued. Farm fish and shrimp do not constitute equally either socially or economically. So, FIFO or FIFO accounting is too simple to assess the different significance of feed fish use in aquaculture. Most fish, calf for reduction to fish meal and oil are not commonly used as human food, and using the meal and oil in animal feed adds value. The apparent ecological efficiency of the process is also misleading because inefficiencies are inevitable in nature when organisms that are trophic levels consume biomass from lower trophic level. In fact, the efficiency of food use in aquaculture is considerably better than in nature, where ecological efficiency are one of the order of tenfold for each change in trophic level. So, increased demand for fish meal and fish oil has caused dramatic increase in price since 2000 increased cost. So, that's all, sir. Thank you po.